In this video, we're going to be taking 3 separate music genres, and we're going to be making a piece for each of them, and seeing how they turn out based on how I'm feeling. So I did what every good YouTuber does. I went to ChatGPT, I asked it to give me 3 different music genres, and it did. And the ones I ended up with was Retrowave, hard rock, and classical music. We're doing everything on the iPad today, so let's just hop right into this and get started with the first piece, Retrowave. With the first music, I immediately got this feeling of retrofuturism, so I knew from the start that some sort of cyberpunk look was going to be what I wanted to go for. I wanted the piece to be more dynamic, so I worked on the idea of a character hanging out of a flying car. I struggled getting the proportions right, so I ended up shifting the piece and letting the car be the main focus. I went through multiple iterations of the car before deciding to replicate the car from Cyberpunk 2077. I also really liked the aesthetic of the city from Blade Runner 2049, so I modeled some of my buildings after it. I went back to my rough sketch to finish the ink work on the car. I moved on to the smokestacks, which I wanted to use to bring the feel of the original Blade Runner, but I ended up scrapping those later. The line work was looking too cartoony and it just didn't feel right, so I began using the paint. I wanted to fill a little bit of the empty space and decided a big orange moon would be perfect. It was then onto the car, which was the centerpiece, so I really took my time attempting to get all of the lighting detail right. And onto the city, I paint in and duplicate some lights on my buildings as well as add a little edge light to them. Now it was onto some final touches to really make the piece pop. Okay, so we just finished the first piece. That took me a really long time. It was about 5 hours in total, so I am wiped right now. I had a lot of fun with this one. It took me a while to get what I really wanted in the piece, but we got there in the end, and I'm actually really happy with it. So with that, we're going to move on to the next genre, hard rock. With the second artwork, I started all over the place, jumping from one idea to the other. First, something Viking, then planes and tanks. I finally decided on the choice of zombies, began filling them out, and then decided at the last moment to swap to a meditation scene. Yeah, in hard rock, the songs were all over the place. So I was as well. But I soldiered on, adding some small mountaintops peeking through, and some little seagulls up in the corner. Do seagulls hang out up that high? I'm not sure, but they're there anyways. Alright, so finally done with this piece. Took me only about 2 hours to do. I spent a little bit less time on it, I think just because I'm exhausted, but it turned out still pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy with it. I did struggle again finding a tone. Yeah, for hard rock, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. I'm pretty tired though, so I think I'll just pick it up tomorrow with our last genre, classical music. So it's the next day, and the classical music started, and as the piano kicked off, my pen began drawing out a few concepts for the piece. Beethoven and Chopin just make me think of Starry Night or a Sunday afternoon. I felt like the music was giving me more than I saw in the photo, so I moved on to my own imagination and scrapped it. No reference, just feeling the music. I first laid out my buildings and light sources. I wanted the shapes of the scene to be made up by light. I added a moon to give some color and contrast and act as a sort of light for the tops of the buildings. It was a slow process of building up the light bit by bit, and really started to light the buildings. I added a little man in a boat. The piece starts to come together, and now we move on to the final details of adding doorknobs, reflections, some stars, and clouds to spice up the sky. Okay, so yes, it is the next day and we are finally finished. This one took me probably just as long as the first one did, and in total I probably spent around 12 hours on all of these pieces. You can tell me if it's worth it down below. I'm really happy with this one though. I think I finally nailed it. I was able to express the music through the piece. We're gonna go see how I did right now and go check in with Brody. All right, Brody, we have you here today looking at these paintings I did.
Yeah, so I'm looking at some sort of like 60s to like 70s old school car with a moon driving to the city. This one is giving me huge jazz vibes. I'm gonna go jazz on the first car one. Final answer, locked in.
Okay, it is not jazz. It is not jazz.
Ah!
It's Retrowave. Big name.
Okay, what the hell is that? You can't do that to me.
The other two pieces are they're considered mainstream genres.
All right, well, that first one's bullshit then. I'm gonna go with jazz. Obviously, I haven't looked at the other two. The first one is my favorite. Just
No.
like the art style and the way that like the colors pop. I'm a huge fan.
I think I really was able to get into the first one and just like focus in on it.
I will be looking at that later.
Well, sweet, let's move on.
Look, this guy that's assuming on top of a mountaintop, maybe meditating.
That's a good guess.
Where it's more like serenity. It's like really like colorful. And I'm gonna go like reggae, like that area of music is what I'm getting from this.
I'm sorry. I'm doing not good.
0 for 2, huh?
Well, actually, that means I'm 0 for 2. That means I'm not doing a good job. Nah, the genre
Okay.
was hard rock. The song that I was listening to, it's stereotypical, was Stairway to Heaven. I'm serious, dude. The song came on and it's just like, that guitar's playing and it's just like
That's crazy because I get the complete opposite effect. When I listen to like hard rock, I think about like hell, not like on top of a mountaintop. I'm meditating. I get like being in the mines. Now, when I think of like hard rock, I think of like insane to think about you meditating too.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
there were some songs that would come on and I'm like, okay, now I'm feeling like I should put some planes up in the sky while he's meditating. And then I'm like, no, okay, no. Just stick to what you got.
I would like to go 1 for 3 today.
Yeah, let's move on to the last one. You'll get the 1 for 3. I feel it.
Ooh. Okay. I'm getting a lot of Italy, European vibes. Man, I really like the way you did those lights. That looks really cool. So I like I don't know, it's like the amount of like, I don't know, the amount of color or light or whatever. It looks really good. I really like the way it looks. I'm between two. I'm between pop or just like classical music. Like it's something that I know that I've seen before. It's like it's a painting at night, but it's also a little bit different. I don't know. I just feel like I get a lot of pop from this.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna go with classical for my actual guess.
So classical's your final answer.
Yeah.
My brother, you nailed it exactly.
Let's go. Because that is just such a very like classic piece to do too, which is what I was kind of thinking of. But it also just has such a vibe and such like an old school feel to it. Car is still my favorite. The third is the best for the feeling. The first one is my favorite. Or the second one is
It's a piece.
it's a painting.
It's
It's
a
a
painting.
piece. And maybe I'm tripping. So y'all gotta let us know in the comments if I'm just tripping. Personally, don't get a lot of hard rock out of that.
Thanks so much, man, for coming on and doing this with me. Well, we'll get you on another one next time. And yeah,
Hell yeah.
we'll talk to you later, man. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to be doing more of this in the future. I'll leave a playlist down below of some of the music I listen to. Let me know if the music transfers to the piece. Thank you guys again for watching. Later.